Hello friends, welcome to all. Myself Vishal Jogidas. Today we will discuss about signal reference ground method for grounding. It is covered in the subject of power quality and management. Signal reference ground. Signal reference ground is a relatively new term. The main purpose of the signal reference ground is not personal safety or equipment protection, but merely to provide a common reference low impedance plane from which sensitive loads may operate. It means main purpose is to provide low impedance path and common reference. Why SRG important? Figure depicts two low-level microcircuits sharing data and power lines. Here in this figure we can see one circuit is here and one circuit is here, and both are sharing common grounds. What makes this communication possible is that both devices have a common reference signal. Here we can see this is common, okay, and this is grounded. If the reference ground is a high impedance connection, voltage differentials may be created that would affect the point of reference for the two devices. Okay, it means this difference is maybe due to this distance there is a difference in between these two of ground potentials. When we mention low impedance, it means it is for high frequency, not for power frequency. For power frequency, even a few hundred feet of wire can provide adequate impedance, but the situation is different at high frequencies. For example, let us consider a situation when two devices are connected to a 10 feet length 4 gauge copper conductor ground wire. The DC resistance of the wire is 0.00025 ohm. The inductive reactance at 60 Hz is 0.0012 ohm. Inductive reactance at 1 MHz is approximately equal to 20 ohms. If a noise current of 100 mA at 1 MHz is to find its way into the ground wire between the two devices, the noise voltage must be 2 volt, which is enough to cause the devices to lose communication and perhaps even sustain damage, depending on the device sensitivity. Okay, it is depends on sensitivity, device sensitivity. This example is a simple situation consisting of only two devices. However, hundreds or perhaps thousands of such devices or circuits might be present in an actual computer or communication data center. All these devices require a common reference from which to operate. This is accomplished by the use of signal reference ground. The signal reference ground can take many forms depending on the user performance. Some facilities use a single conductor installed underneath the floor and looped around the space of the computer center. While this method is practical, it is limited in functionality due to the large impedances associated with long wires as mentioned earlier. Larger computer data centers use more than one conductor, but the limitations are the same as stated above. A preferred signal reference ground consists of 2 gauge or larger copper conductor laid underneath the floor of the computer or communication center to form a grid of 2 by 2 feet squares. We can see in this figure these wires gauge is 2 AWG, it means 2 American wire gauge, and the square size is 2 feet. By creating multiple parallel paths, the impedance for the reference plane is made equal for all devices and circuits sharing the signal reference ground. And these cross points cross over welded together or bolted together, so it is fixed at their place. Welding is better than bolted. If the impedance is measured at any two nodes of signal reference ground and plotted against frequency, the shape of the frequency characteristics would appear as shown in figure. Here we can see here is a frequency and here is ohms. The impedance versus frequency graph should appear the same across any two sets of nodes of the signal reference ground, as this is the main objective of the signal reference ground. So this is a typical graph of impedance versus frequency. Now this is typical computer and communication facility, data center, grounding and bonding. See in this here we can see signal reference grid. We have already seen that there are squares, about 2 feet squares are there, and wire gauge is about 2 AWG. And here also we can see bonding with building steel. Okay, signal reference ground to building steel bond. Here also we can see bonding with raised floor support junctions. Signal reference ground to junction bond. And here we can see also this CPU is connected with this signal reference ground and bonding is done. This is the signal ground bus. It means all the ground signals are come here, and it will be grounded. One connection is directly given to the other signal reference ground systems in the building. Okay, so this is the way all the grounding and bonding are done in the computer or communication data center, and we can observe all these things in this typical diagram. Some installations use copper strips instead of circular conductors to form the grid. Other facilities might use sheets of copper under the floor of the computer center as the signal reference ground. Constructing and signal reference ground with a continuous sheet of copper creates a reference plane made up of infinite parallel paths instead of a discrete number of parallel paths, as with signal reference grounds made up of circular wires. Such arrangement provides excellent noise immunity and allows the creation of a good reference plane for the sensitive circuits. Okay. Figure depicts how a signal reference ground for a large sized computer center might be configured. Some installations use above ground wiring methods instead of raised floor configuration. The principle behind the configuration of signal reference ground does not change whether the ground reference plane is below ground or above the ground. It is important that all noise producing loads be kept away from the signal flow graph. If such loads are present, they should be located at the outer periphery of the data center and bonded to the building steel if possible. Reference Reference is taken from a Power Quality book by C. Shankaran, CRC Press. Thank you.